All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success. I want to say thank you for joining us here on the live stream. Now, for those of you guys who have hung out with us before on previous Site Review Tuesdays, you know how the drill gets started how the drill goes. To go ahead and get us started, throw a number in the chat 1 through 65 so I can go ahead and get a site picked to do the first review. If you're joining us for the first time on a Site Review Tuesday, this is how it works. We're going to be reviewing 3 sites live. Each site's going to get a 15-minute review. The third site's going to come from one of you guys hanging out with us in our live chat audience. So if you're hanging out with us now and you haven't had your site reviewed, or maybe you've had it reviewed before and you've done some updating and you'd like to get it reviewed again, make sure to go down in the description below this video, click on the link that says Site Review Submission Form. That's going to take you to a form where you can submit your site to get it reviewed. And like I said, that third site that we're going to be reviewing today, why does my camera do this? It's like it has a mind of its own. Let me fix this, you guys. That third site that we're going to be reviewing today is going to come from you guys in the live chat audience. So again, make sure that you go down to the description below the video, click the site review submission form, click on that and submit your site. We're going to be picking one of those to do the third and final review. As always, we are going to be giving points, but we're never keeping score. This is all in good fun. I hope this video find you guys. If you're watching the recorded version, if you're hanging out with us live, I hope that you guys are all safe and well and being smart and washing your hands and taking care of each other in these crazy time that we're all going through right now. So just make sure that we're looking out for each other, taking care of each other. As always on Tuesday, I've got Katie hanging out with me, taking care of you guys in chat. Make sure that you show Katie some love. Really appreciate her jumping on here every Tuesday and hanging out and helping me take care of you guys. And then just a quick announcement really quick. So coming up this Thursday on Zenfolio Live, we're going to be talking about how to set up and some best practices that you can use to sell your photos as stock photography here on Zenfolio. So I'm going to be going through, showing you some good setup tips, giving you some ideas on how you can be selling your photos as stock photography on Zenfolio. And then last week, if you guys hung out with us on Zenfolio Live, we did a challenge, and that challenge is going to continue. Challenge you guys as photographers. Let's make sure that we are posting at least one thing positive every day on social media to cheer each other up, to give people hope. We take beautiful photos. We need to share those with the world and let the world see some good sometime during this kind of crazy time that we're going to. So make sure that you guys are taking the time to try and post something positive once a day. Let me say hi to some of you guys really quick that's hanging out with us. Let's see, we've got Jennifer LaRoche, we've got Home Phone, we've got Lynn McEntee. Is it McEntee? How do I say it, Lynn? Make sure I'm pronouncing it right in the chat. If not, definitely feel free to make fun of me. And Mark Bennett jumping on here and hanging out with us. All right, so the first number that I see on here, let me scroll back and make sure that I don't miss anything, is Lynn throwing in a number 22. So let me go grab that number 22 site really quick and we'll get started on the first site review. All right, so let me grab that site really quick. Lynn said number 22. So let me grab this and get that pulled over. All right, here we go. Let me get this pulled over here so you guys can see this. All right, here we go. Let me get this over here, make sure I get it all nice and sized in so we can see everything. We're going to get 15 minutes up on the review clock, and we're going to get started with this site review. Now, again, if you guys are hanging out with us and you have not had your site reviewed, maybe you've had it reviewed and you've done some updates and you'd like to get a second review, put it in the link in the description below this video, and the third site that we review today is going to come from that. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started right here. So this is Carol, I think it's Hopke. Is that how you say it? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Carol Hopke Photography. Let me go ahead and pull this down so you guys can see that URL. That URL is carolhopkephotography.com. And while we're here looking at it from this view, I do want to point out right up here, we do have the standard Zenfolio favicon. I see this a lot. It's not a big deal, not a huge deal breaker, but it's definitely something where you can give your site a little more of a custom appearance. So you could definitely update this to make sure that you have your branding consistent from all across your site. So if you have a nice logo here, you can take that logo, maybe shrink it down. That needs to be 16 by 16 pixels. Make it simple because it is small, but get something up in there so that you kind of have branding consistency going across here. Now, the other thing that I want to point out while I'm here is that right now, all we see in the name of this website title up here is the actual name of your photography company or your photography business, however you want to refer to it. And guys, this title matters. So this is the title of your site. Whenever people do Google search results and you see those big headers, this is the thing that is showing up right here. So you can definitely add more information. And what I see a lot of people do is either put a dash in there or they'll put a tube and then you can say, you know, wildlife and landscape photographer in blah, blah, blah. And obviously not blah, 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 but put your location in there. But this is just going to help your search results. It's going to give Google more information so they can better understand what your website's about. All right, let me pull this up really quick, and then we're just going to kind of keep going across here on the site menu. So, and actually, let's kind of scroll down. Really beautiful photo. It looks like we just have a single image here. It's a pretty photo. Nice little swan here. I would like to see maybe a slideshow, maybe a couple of more images. Right now it's just kind of a static image, and I would really like to see some kind of custom logo up here as well. Now, scrolling down here, we have some information. We definitely have the location right here. So really important, I believe, to somewhere on your homepage mention the location that you're from or that you're servicing, so that right away people on your homepage can see if they can hire you because they know whether or not you're in their area. Or if you're just doing this as a hobby, or if you're not for hire, but you're selling your photos maybe as a fine art or landscape photographer, having that information in there is going to be helpful when people are doing searches for photographers or photography in their area. Having that location information is here. Now, you do have the client access thing showing here on your site, as well as the search down here. If you specifically need those and you have your site set up, that's perfectly fine. I might consider moving this down to the footer and maybe letting the search be a little bit higher up here rather than having this. Or I might even consider changing the client access to be a site menu item rather than showing right here. But this is okay, not a big deal breaker here. Let's go and check out your portfolio. So we're going to click on portfolio and take a quick look at this. So it looks like this is kind of the default setting. Whenever you go in and you create your account, we ask you what type of photography you do, and then we kind of create portfolio galleries for you. And then this is kind of the setup. So this is a portfolio setup that's linking to a group or a folder that's in the account. And this is an okay setup. It's not the one that I prefer because the navigation of this gets really tiresome for a visitor. And I'm going to show you why here in a second. And you might also want to think about changing this grid. Right now you're using that square grid. And while it looks nice and uniform and kind of Instagram-y looking, it can crop your photos, which as photographers can be a pretty big deal to us if we haven't thought about these photos that we're using for our gallery thumbnails. So you might want to think about going here and updating this grid. Let's go ahead and click on the first one here, wildlife, and take a look. And so right now I can see there's no gallery caption up here. I say this a lot. Gallery captions, one of the most underutilized features in Zenfolio. It lets you talk about the type of photography. It lets you mention locations. You can put a link in it. Really, really useful to help your search results, to help your SEO, and just to give visitors an idea of what they're looking at. Maybe you want to tell a little bit in here about the photos that we're going to see in here. Is it from a specific area? Is this from a specific park? So some information in here is really helpful for visitors and really helpful for SEO as well. Beautiful photos though, definitely going to say +1 to that. Some absolutely beautiful photos in here. Let's keep scrolling down and taking a look. And let's see, there are quite a few photos in here. So for me, this doesn't really feel like work that needs to be in a portfolio gallery. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I think about portfolio as a photographer, I think about work that you're showing to get other people to hire you. I would probably have this type of photos in a section where I'm doing like either wildlife photos, images for sale, or something like that, very clearly making a distinction between this is the work that I can be hired for, and then here's some of my photos that you might be interested in purchasing for like wall art or something like that. But let's just keep going down here and taking a look. Lots of just absolutely beautiful, beautiful photos. So again, you might even think about taking these photos and breaking them up into sections where you have like wildlife, you have birds, you have waterfowl, different things like that, to kind of have it broken up into sections that's a little easier for people to kind of navigate and get directly to the type of photos that they're looking for. But what I am particularly looking for is going to be way down here at the bottom, and that's going to be captions and keywords, which we're not seeing any captions and keywords. So if you have taken the time to categorize these photos, to keyword them, whether it's in Lightroom or in Zenfolio after you uploaded them, it's not helping your SEO because the captions and keywords and categories are not set to show here on the gallery. So basically, all you're providing to search engines to really understand what this gallery is about is your images, the image titles, and then if you have any alt tags. And so your keywords, any categories and captions that you've added are not being considered, and it's not doing your gallery any good if you've added those because it's not showing down here. So if you take the time to keyword your photos, which I hope that you guys are doing that, you need to make sure under options in customized view that categories and keywords are set to show, and then it will show that information down here in the bottom little box. We don't clutter your page with a bunch of keywords. We keep it nice and tucked away down at the bottom for you. So let's go back up to the top, and let me show you why this type of portfolio setup can become a little cumbersome for your visitors. Because now if I want to go look at a different gallery, I have to go back to portfolio either here or back to portfolio up here on the top, which is taking me back to a page I've already been to, and then clicking on the next portfolio to move forward. So what I would suggest that you do with this is that you create this as a drop down. So all I have to do would be hover over this. A little drop down would pop down, and I could select the different portfolios, and that's going to make that navigation much, much faster and much, much easier. I'm sure that a lot of the feedback I had previously are going to be the same on this gallery. So again, no gallery captions here. And then we're going to scroll down here and just keep taking a look. Now, I do see that you have your images titled, and we are going to take a look and see what this looks like when we actually click on a photo in a second. But you do have the images titled, but let's scroll down and let's see if this gallery has some keywords. And again, we are seeing quite a few photos in here, so I would definitely recommend trying to break your gallery up. You know, try to go for portfolio galleries, maybe 10 to 15 of your best images. And again, I just want to re-say that this doesn't really feel like portfolio work. This is more like work for sale. This is more like, you know, your photography galleries of maybe your hobby or your pastime or whatever. This is not necessarily work that people would be hiring you to come do. This is more like these are photos that you've taken that you want to sell. And so you might want to think about how can you make that clear distinction on your site. Again, no categories and keywords down here. So let's go back up and let's just click on a photo here and take a look. So it looks like it is loading into QuickShop. We have the option to purchase this photo as a print over here. I love that you're using QuickShop. There's a lot of options here. One thing that I would definitely think about is that the options that you have here, think about strategically picking these out. Like one of the things that you want to be careful of is, I know that Zenfolio offers a lot of products, but do you want to overwhelm your clients with a lot of options, or do you want to keep it simple and really be thoughtful about what you offer your clients and make it simple for them to come in here and choose options? Now, the other benefit to limiting the products that you offer here is that allows you to continually kind of update your price list with new products and re-email clients and old visitors and just say, hey, I want to let you know I've updated my price list. There's some new products that are available in here if you want to come check them out. And that way you're trying to build reasons to get people to come back in these galleries and place more orders. Now, one of the things I do see that you have going on here is you have both buying experiences turned on. So there is Quick Shop and there is Visit Shop. Not a deal breaker for me at all. Usually I prefer to use Quick Shop only because it is more simple. One thing that I have found that does confuse people about showing both buying experiences here is that sometimes your visitors and your clients will think that maybe there should be more options here in Visit Shop. And sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't. It just depends on how you set your price list up. My philosophy is to keep this buying experience simple. I only offer the quick shop, and then I'm very strategic with the options that I put in here. Especially if I'm doing landscape and fine art photography, I'm thinking about making sure that the print sizes match my image's aspect ratio. That way, that print, when the client gets it, they get exactly what they see on the site versus it getting cropped off. So if this particular photo was not cropped for an 8x10, and this is just your standard 3:2 aspect ratio, whenever they order that 8x10 crop, part of that image is going to be cropped off because it's not the same aspect ratio. So something to think about there. And then 8x10, 11x14, 4x6, 8x8, those are actually all different aspect ratios. So no matter which one of these products we order this photo on, that photo is going to get cropped in some form or fashion due to the aspect ratios not matching. So something to think about, not a deal breaker, but just something to think about here. All right, let's get back and let's keep moving across the site. We got like 3 minutes left, so let's check out one more portfolio. I just want to breeze through it. I think you have some absolutely beautiful images in here. I am curious to see the event photos right here, and then we will move on to the rest of your page here. So it looks like we have some photos, like maybe these are events like an air show that you were at. I think these are really great photos. And there's not too many photos in here, so there's quite a bit, but there's not like a whole bunch. It's not taking a long time for the page to load or anything like that. Some really cool photos though, but again, the same feedback that I've kind of had previously. Let's get those categories and keywords showing. Let's put a caption here. Wow, this photo right here is pretty amazing. I'm going to throw up some bonus points for that photo. That photo is just absolutely gorgeous. This one as well. Just this moon capture right here is just beautiful. But let's get the categories and keywords showing down here. Let's get some more traffic coming into this gallery. While I'm down here, I'd also like to mention the tweet button and the like button. The like button right now is setting at 0. If you're going to show this on your site, ask some friends or family to come in here and give this a like so people don't show up here and see 0 likes, or just go ahead and turn it off. Let's go ahead and go back up to the top. Let's check out your about page really quick. And just take a look. All right, so we got a nice about photo here. I like that this is a photo of you out taking photos. I think this is great. I see so many about pages where there are absolutely no about photos, or their about photo is one of their images without them in it. And that's, I feel like, a big mistake when you have people coming to learn about you. One of the things that they want to learn is what do you look like? Especially if they're thinking about hiring you. When they meet you for the first time, they don't want to feel awkward trying to figure out, oh, is that you over there? Or is this the photographer? So having an about photo, I feel like, is pretty important. What do you guys think in chat about photos? Do you guys think that it's an important element to have on your site? Do you guys have a really cool about photo on your site? Or have you cheated and thrown up just one of your photos that you took and don't actually have your photo on your site? Let me know in chat what you guys think about that. Really quick, let's check out the contact page. So we're going to go check out the contact page. This looks like it's the built-in Zenfolio contact page. Perfectly fine using it. It works. It gets the job done. It's already pretty much set up for you. Super simple. So I think that's fine. Let's check out this FAQ page. Now, one of the things on this FAQ page, and I'll show you guys really quick, this actually opened up into a new tab, but we are still in your Zenfolio account. So anytime you have a link open up in a new tab, I personally don't feel like it's really necessary to do that unless we're leaving your Zenfolio account and we're going to leave this or lose this navigation. So that FAQ page could definitely open up in the same tab. You don't need to open it up in a different tab. Now, really quick, this page is a little hard to read. You might think about the colors here, but I do see that you are working on this caption and getting your contact information here. So overall, Carol, I think you've got a pretty good site started. Definitely some things that you want to go back and look at and kind of fine tune. Really work on those portfolios, maybe even consider setting up that drop-down menu up here. All right, you guys, that is it for this site review. We're going to do 2 more sites. So let me just kind of get this out of the way really quick. And while I'm saying hi to some of you guys in chat, let me get another number thrown out, a number between 25 and 75. So somebody throw a number out in the chat. 25 to 75, that's going to determine the next site that we review. And I'm going to jump in here really quick and say hi to some of you guys who jumped on here while I was talking away. So let's see, DD Barber's jumping on and saying hi there. Hey, DD, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. We've got Michelle Stevens, Roxanne Bay back hanging out with us. It's good to see you here, Roxanne. Glad you could jump on here and hang out with us. Denise and Terry says, I'm relatively new. It looks like Katie took care of you in getting you that submission site. Sharks408 says, can I remove the blog RSS button in my footer? Great question. Try to get to that if I have time today. If not, make sure you bring that question back to Zenfolio Live, because most of the time Site Review Tuesdays pretty much taken up with site reviews, and I don't have a lot of time to do Q&A. Let's see. Carl Brutenshaw. That's an interesting name. Hey, thanks for coming on here and hanging out with us, Carl. Let's see. I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. All right. The first number I see on here is 222, but I don't think that was a number that I called out there, home phone. So I'm going to pass it on to Denise, who said 33. Let's go see what site is 33. Now, again, before I pull this site over, if you guys want your site to be reviewed today, then there is a link below the video. It says site review submission form. If you guys go down there, submit your site there, the next site that we review is going to come from you guys in the live chat audience. So again, go down to the description below the video, click the site submission form, enter your information, and then the next site after this one is going to be from one of you guys there in the chat. All right, and we said we were doing number 33, so let me go grab number 33 really quick. Let's see, number 33 is going to be frame sequence photography. So let me grab this site and pull it over here. And let me just bring it over here really quick and get it all sized in here, and then we will get started with this review. Okay, here we go. 15 minutes up on the clock. Like I said, one more site to review after this one. It's going to come from you guys in the live chat audience. Make sure you get your site submitted before I'm done with this review, and then we're going to do another number draw, and we'll pick a random site from one of you guys today. All right, 15 minutes, here we go. So frame sequence photography, and let me pull this down so you guys can see that site address. It's right up here. Again, same feedback I had on the previous site. We've still got the default Zenfolio favicon up here. And in the website title, all we have is the name of the business. This could definitely have, again, that dash where you could talk a little bit about the type of photography that you do. Basically, you guys, everybody, if you're wondering, like, what does this matter? When we get done with this live stream today, go to Google and type in photographer near me or wedding photographer. And all of those bold headings that you see popping up on the search results, that is what this is, and that is why that is so important, because that is the information that's shown here. This information is in your account. You just go to hover over your name in the top right corner, click on settings, and then in the lower left hand corner you're going to click on website, and then you're going to click on search engine optimization, and that's where you can actually find that information and update this. It's one of those things that we kind of set up whenever we get started and forget to go back and modify. So super important though, you guys. It's really helpful for your SEO. All right, really, really cool logo. Bonus points for the logo. I love the logo right here. And I love the fact that you're using this sidebar layout. This is a non-traditional layout. We don't see a lot of websites using this. When it's done right, it works really well. Sometimes it can be a little annoying, but I think that you have a really nice job setting this up. So great job here. And let's take a look here at what other information we have. So just scrolling down, I think you've got just the right amount of images. It does kind of go past your site menu items a little bit, but that's not a big deal at all. One thing I would like to see is I know that this layout gives you room for your welcome message to show. Now, why am I mentioning the welcome message? I don't want you to type in a really long, like, hey, welcome to my website. I'm this really cool photographer, blah, 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 blah. All you need to do is simply put in your welcome message the location that you work out of, that you service, the type of photography you do. Again, it's just, in my opinion, really important that that location information is seen somewhere here on the homepage so that I, as a visitor, do not have to go searching for that information. Okay, so let's go ahead and follow the path that you've laid out for us as a visitor. That's going to be your site menu here. Let's click on Portfolio and let's take a quick look. All right, so again, this portfolio is kind of a group portfolio setup where I'm going to have to be navigating back and forth between different galleries to look at your options here. Now, a couple of things here. If you're going to leave it this way, you're definitely going to want to come in here and set this little bar to show without requiring a hover, because right now it kind of feels like I'm looking at a portfolio with only 2 images in it. So if you want to leave it this way, you might want to set this to show without a hover so that it's kind of clear that these are 2 separate portfolio galleries. Honestly, though, what I would really suggest that you do is get rid of this portfolio folder navigation altogether and do the portfolio drop down. And if you guys aren't familiar with how to set up and do a drop down, there's lots of video tutorials on our YouTube channel. If you just go search on our channel for like site navigation, customizing your homepage, portfolio setup, like any of those videos that come up with that kind of information is going to show you how to set up your site navigation to include a drop down, which just makes the entire navigation of your site so much easier. All right, let's go ahead and click on your first portfolio here and just take a look at how this is set up. Okay, so it looks like we are entering a gallery. We kind of have this spotlight content set up where there's this slideshow, and then down here we have a grid of images. So a couple of things here. Definitely you can leave the slideshow if you want. I don't understand the purpose of the slideshow if these same images are some of the same images that we've seen on the homepage and that we're also going to be seeing down at the gallery at the bottom. Personally, I would probably remove this slideshow option right here because you do have the slideshow button showing up here where if I want to view this as a slideshow, I can, but I don't have to. I can just scroll through the thumbnails. Now, the other thing that I'm noticing here is this page feels really squeezed in. So it feels like there's a lot of padding on the edges of this gallery. And that's going to be under the grid options where you can go in and put padding. And I'm guessing that you might have been doing that because you might have been looking at this gallery on your phone and thinking, oh, I want to make sure that it's squeezed in. And Zenfolio is actually mobile friendly by default. So sometimes you might accidentally look at your desktop version of your website on your phone. Just scroll to the bottom and make sure that it says you're viewing mobile. If not, click back to mobile. I do it all the time because I'm testing things and I end up accidentally going to my desktop version, but you don't have to squeeze this in if you're trying to make it mobile friendly. It will already be mobile friendly without that squeezed in. All right, let's keep going down here. Now, another thing, again, like I've said in the previous reviews, not seeing a gallery caption. So not seeing any text information about this, not seeing any call to actions where like, if I really like your photos, I'm not being encouraged to contact you or anything like that. So definitely think about utilizing that gallery caption to give me some text information, tell me a little bit about what it's like to work with you, and give me an option to click on to contact you. Even though you have it up here, it's nice to have it in that gallery caption as well. All right, let's scroll down and let's just keep looking at these photos. I think you actually absolutely have some beautiful, beautiful photos. So I'll give you a point for that. Some gorgeous photos in here. I'm not overwhelmed. There's not way too many photos in here. One of the things that I would think about doing is maybe coming back and cherry picking your photos a little bit more. Some of these photos are similar enough that I almost feel like I might be looking at like the same shot. So maybe just breaking these up, kind of spreading these out, adding a little bit of diversity in here, but you have some absolutely beautiful photos in here. Now, one of the things that I am looking for down here again is the categories, keywords, and captions. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing that. So again, if you've taken the time to categorize and keyword these photos, it's not doing you any good because it's not showing here on the gallery. And so it's not helping your SEO. So you definitely want to think about coming back in here and turning that on. And for all of you guys who are watching, like he keeps talking about categories and keywords, I want to make sure I know how to turn that on. There's a really good series on our YouTube channel. It's called Creating Your Portfolio or something like that, or it might be called Optimizing Your Galleries for Search. Either one of those is going to go really in depth on categorizing, keywording photos, making sure that your galleries are set up to take advantage of those SEO tools that we offer you here in Zenfolio. So definitely make sure that you go search for that on our channel and check those videos out. All right, let's go ahead and scroll back up here to the top and let's keep moving along. So again, now I have to click back up here. And then click on the next portfolio gallery, which if there was a lot of different portfolios in here, that navigation could become really tiresome really quickly. And it would be a lot easier just to have that drop down option. All right, let's scroll down. Looks like I'm going to have pretty much the same feedback here, except that we definitely want to get some more photos in here. So right now, you guys, I know a lot of us are not able to go out and shoot. Like right now, a lot of us are just kind of like, man, what are we going to do with some of this time that we have on our hands? So this is the time, you guys, go in and update your portfolios. Make sure that you're showing fresh images. Make sure that you're cherry picking your photos. If you are one of those people like I am who get really stuck in the details of trying to make sure that everything is important, or not everything is important, everything is perfect, remember that progress is better than perfection. Set yourself some limits and say, okay, I'm going to create a portfolio for every genre of photography that I shoot, and I'm going to give myself a limit. I'm only going to allow myself to pick out 10 images for each portfolio. And when you do that, don't teeter-totter back and forth. Pick out your first 10 images and do not allow yourself to second guess those until you have all of the portfolios built that you want to build. Once you have that done and actually live on your site, then you can go back and start fine-tuning it. But get it started, get it to a finished point to where it can actually be put to use and actually doing your site some good. Okay? But remember that progress is better than perfection. Don't get into the analysis, or the, analysis paralysis? Is that, I can't say it. It's a tongue twister for me and I can't say it, but progress over perfection. Okay, let's keep moving on through your galleries here. So next I see a link to client galleries. Let's go check that out. Now, one of the things that I do caution you on is not to show your client galleries on here if you don't want people trying to access things that they shouldn't be accessing. And especially if you shoot any kind of sensitive subject matter, such as kids or boudoir photography, one of the things that you're always going to run into is if you have client galleries accessible from your site menu, you're going to have people trying to get into things that they shouldn't be trying to get into. Like, that's just the nature of people sometimes. And then you're also going to have visitors who are like, oh, well, what if I don't want my gallery shown here? Is my gallery going to show up here? So if we do a shoot with you, is our gallery going to be publicly accessible? We have kids and we don't want that. So I personally don't show my client galleries from the site menu. I always do the direct email invite option. I love it because there's a schedule feature there. If you're going to have this option up here, you might want to think about using the gallery access or the client access feature to where they have to enter a code to go directly to their gallery. Right now, it looks like we're having to give you a name and an email, and then let's see where this takes us. I'm not going to deep dive into any client galleries. I just want to see where this is going to take me really quick. So I'm just going to say this is rob@yopmail.com. And let's go take a look at where this takes us to. All right, so this looks like this does indeed take us into your client gallery. So again, is this something that you want people to be able to access? Specifically, is this something that you want people who are not your clients to be able to access? Now, if your clients are okay with their galleries being accessible, or if you have them password protected, that's fine. And in fact, I do encourage you to talk to your clients about this, right? If your clients are okay with the galleries being public, go in there and keyword them and put a caption in there and use that as a way to draw traffic to your site. But just remember to talk to your clients about it. This is not a deal breaker. This is just kind of a personal preference thing and kind of recommendations of things that I've seen over the years with making galleries publicly accessible like this. All right, let's move on to the About page really quick. We've got several site menu items to get through. I want to make sure I give you a good review and not just get stuck in some of these sections back here. All right, really cool About photo. Let's see, is a Greater Toronto area. So third site menu in, I know what area you're located in, so not bad, but would definitely like to see that more on the homepage. And then down here, I'm always torn. You guys let me know what you think about it in chat. I'm always torn when I see about messages written in the third person. For me reading it, it feels a little weird. So if I'm a visitor and I'm on your site and I'm seeing this where it's written in the third person, I'm like, well, is this your website? Did you build it? Like, I know there's a lot of professional people that will say to write this in third person. For me, just a personal preference, it always feels a little weird. I like to make my about message really give my personality across. So I have my about message written just like it would be if I was sitting here talking to you. It's really lighthearted. There's probably some misspellings in it, and some of those are on purpose because that's the type of person that I am. And I really want you to get a sense of who I am when you're reading that information about me. The other thing that I like to advocate for a lot as well is an about video. If you do any video at all, you should definitely have a video doing some behind the scenes, just talking about why you love what you do. But even if you don't do video work, it's nice to have that about video in there because it really lets clients understand what it's going to be like to work with you, the type of person that you are. Because if they've gotten this far, chances are that they've decided they like your work and they just want to know if they're going to get along with you as a photographer, if that relationship's going to work, if you guys are going to vibe well and have good chemistry, because that's so important when it comes to photography, as you guys know, is to make sure that you have good chemistry with your clients and your models and your subjects, because that stuff comes across in the photos. All right, let's go to promotions. Let's check that out really quick. We got like a minute left. So promotions, and we have portraits, packages, and wedding packages. So this looks like it's a page built to where we can go see different options here. And that took me back to your gallery. So a little confusing there. You might want to come back and give that link a reality check. See if that's where you want it going, because that just kind of took me back to your homepage. My guess is that that was a pre-order link that has it since expired. So if that's the case, you want to come in here and give that a check and make sure that you have the correct link in there, or that maybe you set up another pre-order page to replace this link so that people are accessing the information you want them to access. Weddings, let's check it out really quick. And that is doing the same thing. So that's going back. So that was definitely a pre-order page that has since expired. So you want to come in here and give that a check for sure. Let's check on your blog really quick, and then we're going to be out of time. So blog June 3rd, 2019. Let's get a new blog post in here, guys. It's 2020. The last thing you want is people coming to your blog, especially after we've gone to the promotions page and those links have kind of quit working, and now we come to your blog and we don't see a blog post since 2019. Let's make sure that we're keeping that blog up to date. Now, as Katie's saying there in the chat, the one thing I want to say, great job that you've done on this site is your branding consistency and this really cool logo, and I've seen you use those elements across the site. I think you've done a great job there. Just those few things that I pointed out, but overall I think you have a really cool site. Just kind of go back and do some fine tuning, and I think it'll be great. So again, thank you guys so much to everybody who has submitted this, submitted your sites. We're going to do the live review for you guys here in chat in just a second. Let me go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do the review for you guys there live in the chat.
Hello, Zen friends. Katie here from Zenfolio's customer support team. Thank you for joining us for Site Review Tuesday. If you are here for our live broadcast, you may already see me right over here in YouTube chat, ready to help with any questions you may have. For those of you watching the recorded version of our broadcast, you could submit any questions that you might have in the link below in the video description. You can also submit your own site for our review in the links below. Also, if you love us as much as we love you, please be sure to click the like button on this video and subscribe to our channel for lots of great info on managing your Zenfolio account and customizing your site. We're so grateful to have these pre-submitted user sites. Now let's take one of your live submissions. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching.
Okay, guys, I forgot to say it before I left and took a break, but I need a number between 1 and 25 there in chat to pick a random site from you guys who submitted your sites today to do a review on. So if you guys can throw that out, that would be awesome. Oh, it looks like Lee, is it Lofgren? Hopefully I'm saying your name right, Lee. If not, definitely make fun of me in chat. I'm originally from Oklahoma. Sometimes we say things a little funny. Okay, so let's see. Number 13. So let me see which site is number 13 from you guys coming in today. Okay, and that is going to be, looks like that is Wakeen. Is it Wakeen Photography? Is it Wakeen.com? It's Wakeen.com. So let me get that site pulled up and just pulled over really quick, and we will get started on that. So let me throw this over here. There we go. And it's Wakeen. Am I saying it right? Because I feel really silly if I'm not saying it right. Wakeen Photography, or Abraham Photography. It looks like it says up there in the top. Cool. So this is from you guys that submitted this in chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We're going to do this review. And so let's just go ahead and get it started. All right. So first of all, let me pull this down so you guys can see that web address. It's Wakeen.com. Man, I hope I'm saying that right, because I'm going to feel really silly if I'm not saying it right. So just let me know if I am. Up here, it looks like you do have that custom favicon. You've got some information, it looks like, in the title bar here. And then you've got this really cool logo set up right here. I love the logo. I think it's really cool. It really complements your style and your images down here as well. And I really like this like black and white kind of thing that you got going on. So I think this is really cool. Starting out, I got to say, this is an absolutely gorgeous photo to start out with. Now, it looks like there are several photos on here as a slideshow, but one of the things that I just noticed was this slideshow wasn't progressing. It wasn't looping. So it kind of got to this space and either stopped if it's not set to loop, or maybe the slideshow transition time, I think that's the right word, is just set for a longer time period than I'm used to. If this is not set to loop, you might want to think about going in here and setting it to loop so that it starts back over. Otherwise, if you just have it set to be like a slow transition where it's slowly changing from image to image, I think that's fine. This is an absolutely gorgeous image. So just beautiful image here on the homepage to start us off with. And let's just go take a look at some of these other photos really quick. So let's just start right here, because I want to scroll through just absolutely beautiful photos. So let's see. Let's just go through here, and I'm just kind of navigating through with my mouse or my keyboard. So that's the cool thing about this kind of site, and it does look like that did not loop. So, but I'm just kind of navigating through with my keyboard here to go to these different images. Just absolutely beautiful photos. You have a really simple site menu. We're going to go into this here in a second. Let's scroll down here. And it looks like we have a little bit of information down here, and here we go. So Albuquerque, New Mexico and surrounding areas, email and information in this here. I think you've got a super simple website. It's really easy to use. It's nicely set up. I might think about changing these site menu item colors to be white to kind of match your logo up here. Just to keep the branding going, to keep that black and white going on. But these are some absolutely gorgeous photos. And yeah, I think that's really just about the only feedback I have, is kind of changing this text to be white and maybe making them just a little bit larger so they're a little easier to read. Let's go and check out your portfolio. So let's go to landscapes and let's see what this portfolio is looking like here. Okay, so this is definitely using a a Zenfolio default theme. I would definitely think about customizing the theme, maybe making it setting up to match your brand, because I think you have this kind of black and white branding going on, and I would like to see that stay the same and be consistent going through your site. One of the things that I'm not a big fan of is this kind of orange border around the images. I feel like it might be a little distracting. You guys in the chat, let me know what you think about that. I'm still blown away by these images. These images are absolutely beautiful, but I would love to see the colors kind of stay consistent. So when we went from that home page to the portfolio, we kind of lost this black and white and kind of went into something different. So maybe thinking about that theme, customizing it so that when you get to this page, we still have the black header, the white buttons over here, the white logo, and then maybe thinking about getting rid of this orange border around it, around these images. Now, one thing again, just like with the rest of the sites today, I'm not seeing a caption up here. I almost called it a comment. It's a caption. I'm not seeing a caption up here. This would be really useful. Here you could talk about your favorite places to photograph. You could talk about these different parks that you were at, and just information that you could add here again to help your search results, to help you show up better in search. And then let's just take a look at here really quick. The other thing that I'm not seeing as well is I'm not seeing a way to purchase these photos. So right now it looks like maybe you're just showing these off, but I don't see a way to actually purchase these photos. And it's really easy to make these images available as prints and different options here on Zenfolio. If you've never gone through that setup before, there's actually a really good tutorial that I just put out. It's a complete walkthrough tutorial. If you go to our YouTube channel, it's how to get started selling here on Zenfolio. The video is an hour long, but there are timestamps to skip you ahead to specific topics. If you're brand new to Zenfolio and have never set up your selling on it before, make sure that you go check that tutorial out. It will be a life and time saver, I promise you. Beautiful photos though. Would love to see a caption, would love to see a price list on here so we can purchase these photos. Let's scroll down and take a look here. Just absolutely gorgeous photos. Again, we are missing the caption and categories and keywords down here. So there's not a lot of information going to search engines to really bring traffic to this particular page. So definitely something that you want to think about. Again, there's lots of video tutorials on that. You just need to get captions, keywords, all that stuff in your photos, and then get it showing down here so that you can get some traffic coming in here. Let's keep moving along on your portfolio. Let's go up here. Let's take a look at Alaska. Now, bonus points on that site menu though. This is the kind of site menu that you guys have heard me talk about this whole live stream. This is the way I like the portfolio to be set up, not just because it's the way I like it, but because hopefully you see how easy the navigation is. I'm not having to go back to a page that I was previously on. I'm simply advancing through that drop-down menu. And so it's a lot faster to get to different sections in the account than having to go back to the portfolio folder, then click on another gallery, and then go back when I'm done. This is a really simple and easy navigation, and your visitors are really, really going to appreciate that. All right, let's go down here to Arches National Park. Let's take a look at that. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of the same feedback. It looks like things are pretty consistent across your site. So great job getting the site set up, getting it to be consistent. All the settings are the same. I just want to see the availability to purchase some of these absolutely beautiful photos as prints, maybe as some stock photography, something like that. And then I would love to see captions and keywords. But let's just go down here and take a look. Just absolutely stunning photos, just beautiful. Like, makes me want to get outside right now. I wish we could get outside a little bit more. Let's click on a photo. I like that you have this opening up to dim the lights. That's a nice view. You can navigate through dim the lights on your keyboard, so it's a nice way to click and browse through these different photos and viewing them large like this. But again, really, really want to see a price list on here, see you bringing in some income from this and just making these available for purchase if that's possible. Let's go and check out some more. I'm pretty sure I could just spend all day looking at these photos. They're absolutely beautiful. So let's just keep taking a look here. Just phenomenal looking photos. Let's go and let's see. Now, somebody brought up a good point. Should you be selling photos on the portfolio pages? That's a question that I always kind of ask you guys in chat. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like, as a visitor, if I'm coming here and I see portfolio, do you feel like that's really clear to where that's where I need to go to maybe buy photos? Do you feel like portfolio is more where you show off your work that you're for hire for? Do you have distinctions made on your site, or are you thinking about making distinctions on your site where it's like, okay, if you want to hire me as a photographer, this is the type of work that I'm for hire for. So you could go to my portfolio, you could see examples of my headshots, maybe my studio sessions. But if you're just looking for art to buy for your house or stock photography, then I have a section over here, maybe another drop-down menu that says work for sale or fine art and landscape, something like that, where I actually have galleries of this type of work that I'm actually selling for print and for download. What do you guys think about that in chat? Curious to see what your thoughts are. Let me know there in chat what you guys think about that. But these are just some beautiful photos. Just oh, my son would love that. He would love that. He's a huge Star Wars fan. I am kind of a Star Wars fan as well. But these are just absolutely beautiful. All right, let's see. Let's go check out your light painting. I'm curious to see what you're doing with light painting. Wow. Just absolutely phenomenal photos. Now, this definitely looks like maybe this is something where you're doing modeling work for. So maybe this is something where you're having models and you're coming and doing light painting. Definitely something, again, that you could show on your portfolio, like model light painting sessions. I've seen some really cool stuff done that way. But this light painting stuff is just absolutely beautiful photos. Again, my biggest feedback today so far is categories, captions, keywords. And I feel like I say this a lot on the site reviews, but I can't stress enough how important it is to use those features so that when Google indexes your site, you're giving it plenty of information so that it understands what your page is about, the type of stuff that's on your site, and it can help recommend it to people who are searching for that particular type of content. Captions, categories, and keywords are really what's going to help that. Let's check out your black and white really quick. Just some beautiful black and white photos. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous photos. Love them, love them. All right, let's check out your about page really quick. We got a few minutes left here. All right, so we got just a nice photo of you hanging out at Yosemite National Park. So this is really cool. I think this is fine. Let's see. My formal education in photography started when I attended Brooks Institute. So it sounds like you definitely have some formal education. This is really cool. Would definitely love to see maybe a little bit more information about what you're like as a photographer, maybe a behind the scenes video. Judging from the photos that I've seen, I'm sure that you have some really cool stories about some of the places that you've been, some of the places that you photographed, and I would love to see some of those stories on your website. I'm sure you have some really, really cool stories because you have some absolutely beautiful photos. This about page is perfectly fine. Definitely, as we have this time, I would encourage everybody that if you have not explored Zenfolio's custom page option, to go in and check that out. You could definitely do a custom about page. It gives you the option to add more photos. You could add video. You can add slideshows. You can do a lot of different things with it. Now, one thing that I did notice when I clicked on your about page is that the colors completely changed. So when we're on portfolio and we're on landscape, we kind of have this black and orange and white kind of thing going on. And then when we go to about, the colors completely change. So one thing I would definitely recommend is making sure that you go through these pages, try and stick with something that's consistent across your site. And I would definitely recommend, if you can, to make sure that you establish some branding consistency. So if black and white is your thing, because it kind of looks like your logo is like black and white, you might want to think about sticking with themes and making sure that you're using the theme all the way across your site that has that black and white color kind of just across the board. All right, let's go check out your contact. We got like 2 minutes and 36 seconds left. And again, here we are switching back to a different page view or a different color. So something to think about here. Again, it's just a little weird when we're browsing through sites and the colors completely change. And then we're like, did we go to a different site or what just happened? So just something to think about here. just absolutely stunning images. One of the things I do notice is you do have your Facebook page linked up here. Let's see if it's on the home page as well. And that's weird. So that little home button right here, I hadn't tried that before. That goes to the homepage gallery rather than actually taking me back to the homepage. So something to think about there. That might be a little confusing because that home button goes to the home gallery instead of actually going back to your homepage. So something to think about there. Let's check out your Facebook icon. Let's just make sure that that's still linking up and going to the correct thing. A lot of times people change their Facebook, but this looks like it's definitely going to the right Facebook page. So good job there. I have to say overall, I love the simplicity of it. I want to see the colors stay consistent. I want to see that black and white be a consistent theme throughout your entire site. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous images. I just want to see, again, on those portfolios, let's go in there. Let's get some captions written. Let's get some categories. Let's get some keywords in there. And then let's make sure that that's showing so that these can start performing better on search results because you have that information showing. And then just watching the color theme as we're switching through page to page. So as we're going from the home page to the about, where we're getting a different color, and then we're going to the contact page where it goes back to that black, and then here again on this home button where it's kind of a little different as well. So just thinking about that, and then overall thinking about this home button here. Does it need to go back to the home page instead of this home gallery? That does seem a little confusing. But really, for me, what I would recommend overall for you to first start working on, and for everybody really, is captions and keywords, right? Let's get traffic coming to this gallery. Then let's worry about the colors and the consistency and the little nitpicky things. The most important thing is that we get traffic coming in here, and then hopefully getting a price list on here where people can purchase these absolutely beautiful photos for their walls or for whatever you want to sell them for, because they are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous images. All right, you guys, some absolutely beautiful sites today. I want to say great job on that. Beautiful, beautiful images. Thank you guys so much for everybody who submitted sites, all of you guys who submitted sites previously, and then the guys who hung out with me today and submitted your site. If you put your site in the site doc and it did not get selected today, what happens is that goes into our backlog. And then maybe next Tuesday, we will pick that one, or the chat will pick that one, and your site will get reviewed. So it's going to go into our backlog. However, you are definitely welcome to jump on a site review Tuesday, throw in your site, and hopefully get it chosen for a site review. I want to say thank you guys so much for all of the beautiful sites, and hopefully you guys got a lot of helpful information out of this. I know there were some questions in the chat. I got like 3 minutes left. I'm going to look and see if I can find a question that I can answer in 3 minutes. Maybe not. Just curious though, what are you guys doing to keep yourself occupied right now? I know that things are a little strange. I know we're all experiencing some unexpected downtime. Hopefully you guys are going inside of your Zenfolio account, looking at some of these features that maybe you haven't looked at before. You're exploring the selling features. You're going in and you're doing things like updating your portfolio. You're keeping yourself occupied. You're finding ways that you can focus on your business, even though we can't be out doing what we love to do as photographers, which is making beautiful images. We can still keep ourselves occupied. We can still do things to focus on our business, and hopefully that will keep us occupied and our minds in the right place during this weird kind of time that we're going through right now. But hopefully you guys are staying busy and doing that. I don't see any questions. Let me say really quickly just a couple of shout outs to some of you guys who jumped on here and hung out with me. Let's see. Lee Lofgren, Home Phone, Wakeen, Sharks 408, Mark Bennett. Let's see who else we got on here that I missed. Michael Stevenson. Let me go back and read some of your guys' comments about. I know somebody said something. Lee said, I have most of my images for sale through Zenfolio, and you have given me more to consider. That's awesome. There's definitely a lot of selling tools on here that you can really take advantage of. Again, if you haven't checked out that tutorial on the full walkthrough and selling, make sure that you go check that out. It's a really, really great tutorial. Let's see. My drive from 2 big wildlife photos crashed and burned last week. Unfortunately, had them on another drive, but going through thousands of photos, deleting and redoing all over again. Man, that can be a nightmare, right? Like, that's one of the things that I love about Zenfolio is we do have unlimited storage here. So I definitely encourage you to upload what you can as long as you have good internet. Make sure that you're uploading those full resolution JPEG files. That way you do have them here on Zenfolio. Unfortunately, guys, we are out of time, so I'm just going to jump over here. And again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Michael Stevens, Mark Bennett, Denise Schaefer, Lee Lofgren, Sharks408, Katie for hanging out here with me and taking such good care of you guys. Let's see who else we got on here that I missed. Jennifer LaRoche, Home Phone. If I said your name 3 or 4 times, I'm sorry. Just trying to make sure that I get everybody's name. Dee Dee Barber. Pug Bully Studio Lee Williams. That's a really cool name. Pug Bully Studio Lee Williams. Thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us. All right, you guys. Again, thank you guys so much. Make sure that this week, today, tomorrow, sometime, right, that we show somebody love, we show somebody compassion. We are going through a weird time right now. Make sure that we're doing everything that we can to keep our minds positive and to help other people focus on positive. Times like these can bring out the best in humanity and they can bring out the worst in humanity. It all depends on what we focus on and what we choose to look for and what we choose to see. So make sure that you are looking for the positive and that you're being the positive for somebody else. Encourage somebody, lift somebody up, and don't forget to come back and hang out with me Thursday, the same time, same place. We're going to be talking about stock photography. Until then, I hope that you guys have a wonderful and safe week, and I'll see you guys again on Thursday.